All right. Que pasa, calabazas? That means pumpkins if you don't speak Spanish. But anyway, it's Dr. Jordan Seda coming to you live from NYC. Are you ready to go to health and back? All right, let's get it. All right, so beautiful people, I am once again very fortunate to have a lovely guest accompanying me today, Miss Sophia Ngo, coming to us live from Los Angeles, where I was telling her that I was hoping it was 5 o'clock there so I could say it's 5 o'clock somewhere, and it gives me an excuse to have my glass of wine right now. But I guess I don't need an excuse. But Sophia, how's it going?
It's going great. How are you, Jordan?
Yeah, I'm doing really well. Just chilling here on a Thursday night, and there's nothing else I'd rather be doing. But just to give everyone a background on, so actually I should let you tell us a little bit about your background. So uh, I understand. So basically, we train together in capoeira, Sophia and I, and it's been a pleasure having her in our group, or yeah, our group, because we're both in the same group. But I reached out to Sophia specifically because is pretty established in her own business, and aside from training capoeira, also is pretty avid in incorporating resistance training into her routine. So I thought there would be a lot of interesting perspectives coming from her. So, and
Sorry.
I love having dogs. And this is I love it. The dog, maybe the dog can be our next guest.
Sorry about that.
All good. I love dogs. But anyway, so Sophia, tell us a little bit about your business, how it all started. I think our listeners really want to hear.
Okay, so my business, I am an eyelash extensions artist, and I also do permanent makeup with eyebrows. I've been doing eyelash extensions for a little over 15 years now. So I got started way early on. So I do that, and I more recently, especially during COVID, I had some free time, so I took some classes to learn permanent makeup, so I can do like eyebrow tattooing as well. Um, Also, I do like financial advising as well, life insurance, retirement planning. So kind of a jack of all trades.
Wow, you could be quite useful to me down the line, especially for my eyelashes, mainly for my eyelashes.
Definitely.
I remember when I was I did a really stupid thing. When I was in high school, I let some girl I was interested in put eyeliner on me, and for the rest of the day, everyone was asking me if I was crying. Because
Oh
I just had like such dark eyes. It's crazy the childish things you do for quote unquote love, but I can't say I've had
no.
my eyelashes touched since then. But I do know that the eyelash extension and overall facial makeup and all, I don't even know how to categorize that market. It's pretty huge. I know people who are getting into that themselves, but what got you interested in going down that path?
Um, Honestly, I didn't choose it. I was kind of forced into it. When I learned, I was dating this guy and I was working for the county of San Diego, and his cousin, she's like a genius. So she went to this beauty convention in Vegas and she saw a demo of eyelash extensions and she's like, I can do that. So she had her mom go to Vietnam and build a kit and everything. And she just started advertising it and doing it. And so we used to go visit her on the weekends because she had two kids. They were, I think, 7 and 9 at the time. So they just hung out at the shop all day. So me and my, at that time, boyfriend would drive up and just hang out at the shop and stay. It was in Arcadia. And one of the days she was like, Sophia, you're here all the time. You might as well learn this. Like, it's going to be the next big thing. And I like never wore makeup, never dyed my hair, none of that stuff at that time. So I'm like, oh no, it's not for me. And she's like, just learn it. If state board comes, you're Jenny. So she taught me hands-on. I drove up to Arcadia every weekend for 6 months to learn. And then I ended up going, I lived in San Diego at the time. So I tried to advertise in San Diego, and people are like, "What the hell is eyelash extensions?" Because they're so behind in San Diego compared to LA. So I didn't really do anything with it, but some of my sisters were going up to like Beverly Hills to get it done, paying like 200-300 bucks for a set. And I was like, I could do it for you. So I did it for them, and they're like, "Oh, you're pretty good at this." So long story short, I ended up breaking up with that guy. Had to move to Orange County to get away from that guy. And when I moved up here, my family was like, "What are you gonna do with your life?" You know. And it was just me and my daughter at the time. She was like 2.5, and I didn't really want to work a full time job anymore. So my brother's like, "Why don't you do eyelashes? Like you're really good at it, and you're in a perfect location." And so um, I started looking into that, and then I went to beauty school, got licensed, and then just built my business from there. I used to like back then Yelp wasn't a thing, so I was on Craigslist, like going to people's houses and doing their eyelashes at their houses, and like sometimes the houses were kind of shady, so I'd be like, "You don't hear back from me in an hour, you better come check for me at this address." But I've been really fortunate. I had a lot of support from my family, and like the salon that I work at now, the owner's been super supportive, so I'm really lucky. It helped build me to where I am today. Yeah.
Awesome. And yeah, 15 years in the industry now. And I mean, I think from my own experience and from what I've heard, I guess just would you say that the key to being a successful entrepreneur in your industry is just to be really good at what you do?
Um, I think that the skill definitely does play a part in it, but you also need to be consistent with your results. Um, and you need to be, for me, like my clients, they trust me. Like I'm very open with them about communicating. Even if you're not my client and you call with questions, it's never like trying to hide, secrets of the trade. Like if another artist asks me, like, what program I use to edit my photos or how did I accomplish this set. I always share the knowledge because I believe that you have to build a better community of better artists so that everyone grows and everyone gains from that instead of like just trying to keep the secrets to yourself. But I think a big part of it has to do with your communication skills. A lot of my clients have stuck with me like since the beginning. I have clients from like 15 years now, and a lot of it is because I'm so open and transparent and my work is consistent too.
That's crazy that you've been working for 15 years. I thought you were 25.
No.
Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, so I totally agree with the sharing the knowledge. As a physical therapist, I think it's very important to help because, I think about if my mother were to see somebody else for care, I would want her to receive the best possible services. So I want to ensure that there's like this at least baseline uniformity in terms of quality of care and just, I think it's pretty selfish and insecure to hide any potential insight you might have. And I know I've been grateful to have mentors along my journey. So to not be that person for someone else, it would be an absolute letdown. Now, I know you've been in the industry for 15 years, and you said that you work at a salon. So do you have any plans for the future? Like right now, if you had to look into the crystal ball, like 5 years from now, where is Lashes by Sophia going to be? What would you say?
Um, Honestly, I really bad with goal planning and whatnot, so I've just more recently got into that. Um, I I
We're off
don't
script
have
here.
plans.
We're off script, people. So it's a tough question. I put her on the spot.
Yeah. I don't really have plans of opening my own shop. I I'm really fortunate where I'm at, and I don't really want to have to deal with like micromanaging and all of the stuff that comes with owning like a separate business. But I mean, I'm open to it if the opportunity comes up. But right now, I'm happy where I'm at because it allows me to still continue to grow and work on my other like side businesses as well. Um, but I do enjoy teaching, so I think like eventually like when my body can't handle the strain of the work, like I would want to go into educating and teaching people how to do lashes because I think like I have a lot of knowledge and experience to share, stuff that you don't gain from like taking a class for a weekend is like stuff that I learned throughout the years and that I built my business on from those experiences.
Yeah, yeah, I totally feel that. I think that's a good segue because you mentioned that your body might not be able to withstand doing lashes for a long period of time. What I've learned being a capoeirista for even a relatively short period of time is that it keeps your body relatively fit and young for a while. So maybe if you keep
Yeah.
in capoeira, you'll be able to do lashes into your later years. So just throwing that out there. But I mean, I'm ignorant when it comes to doing lashes. I've only seen the end product of lashes. So, I mean, people say
Mhm.
that in regards to my career in terms of my hands and, my hands being, I guess like getting arthritis in my fingers for using my hands, but I'm able to circumvent it in many ways just with good body mechanics and understanding that you really don't have to push that hard in order to get a result. I don't know if it's the same in your industry, but that's how
Yeah.
I plan on doing this for a very long time.
For me, it's like physically, it's tendonitis because you're doing this pinching motion with the tweezers.
Yep.
So that like usually runs up my elbow, sometimes my shoulder and my neck. The other thing I'm scared is my vision's gonna give out because
Mm,
I don't use like magnifying glasses or anything. So
mm.
if anything, my vision's gonna give out before my physical.
Yeah, well, I hope you keep your vision because I want to start throwing kicks at you soon. Yeah, so segueing into throwing kicks at one another. So, um, you've been doing capoeira for a while longer than I have, and so you've clearly been around. But what drew you to capoeira?
Um, my brothers and I, we watched Only the Strong when we were younger. So
Uh,
that was like, yeah, that was like our first time ever like seeing that. We're like, dude, this is badass, you know? But back then there was no internet. Like you couldn't just search up schools and we honestly didn't have the money to attend classes if there were anyways. But I've always been fascinated by it since then, but I never really actively pursued it. And um when my daughter and my nephew, they're the same age. She's 17 right now, but she was I think 7 when she started, or 10, no, 10 when she started. And I was looking for martial arts for her, and my brother actually found a capoeira school near us and signed up my nephew. And so when they started training, um, I was interested, but I was more so interested for weight loss more so than to learn the martial art. I just thought it was a great way to lose weight. So I started training with that intent in mind. But once I started training, I kind of fell in love with the culture, like all the aspects that come with capoeira, not just learning the martial arts. And I kind of just stuck with it. It's been like 7 years now.
wow, 7 years.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that, and that's crazy. So I guess so since weight loss is no longer your primary concern and what you're looking to gain from capoeira, what would you say has been the greatest thing you've learned by being a capoeirista?
Um, I would say I was really uncoordinated before, and capoeira has helped me a lot with my coordination. Um, Also, my balance. I didn't really think it was making such a big effect, but I also do weightlifting. So my personal trainer has me do like um, what is those single leg squats? What are they called?
But the pistol squats?
Yeah, I hate them, right? So she was like, it's a lot of like your core muscles and balancing on one foot. And so she said that I was really good at it, for doing it for the first time. And a lot of the stuff that requires balance and stuff, I realized is because of capoeira that I'm able to do it like better than her or easier than her.
Yeah, I'm able to do quite a bit more than I ever imagined. In just now, I've only been training for 2.5 years, but even still, if you were to tell me I'd be doing acrobatics and
Yeah.
all that crazy stuff, which little tangent here, but yet the other day I was talking to someone who wanted to me to take a look at her back, and I told her I did capoeira, and she's like, "Oh, it's that like dancey thing, right?" It's like and like it always takes a minute. I have to bite my tongue and try to explain to people that it's a martial art because I mean I could see why people think it's a dance because it's been sort of glorified and yeah, and to appeal to the masses, all you see are like the floreos and acrobatics of it.
Yeah.
It really is a culture. It is a culture. I mean, I speak way better Portuguese even than I ever imagined from doing capoeira. And my Portuguese isn't that bad, not gonna lie. And I'm singing songs in Portuguese, and I think people don't realize there's even music in capoeira, and that it was developed by slaves as a means of oppression, of fighting oppression. And when I explain that to them, they're like, "Oh, I didn't realize that." I'm like, "Okay, well, do you want to step into the hodo with me, and I'll show you?" And it's like, but no, I'm a lover, not a fighter, so I'm not always looking to pick fights with people who don't know anything about capoeira. I'm here to educate. So no, I'm not going to fight random people. But anyway, you said that you do resistance training as well. So how have you been able to delve both resistance training and capoeira and make sure that you're not running yourself into the ground?
I would say my first 6 months of resistance training, I overdid it. Like, yeah, I was just going all out trying to get, lifting heavy and training capoeira like 5 times a week. So I wasn't really giving my body a chance to rest. And my trainer, she was like, you really need to have like more than just one rest day. So luckily, I guess for me, my body, I kind of got an injury that kind of made me slow down a little bit on my weight training. I still did it, but we just did everything in moderation, lower weights and whatnot, and that helped my body to recover. And then I also kind of cut back on training. Instead of training 5 days a week, I was only doing 2 to 3 for capoeira. And then I would try to balance out the weight training on the days that I wasn't training capoeira. But it's still hard for me to balance it out because it's like if I weight train on Tuesday and we have class on Wednesday, I'm gonna be sore. So my kicks and my form sucks. But my personal trainer, she's seen capoeira, she's seen us training at the gym when I was training here. And so she kind of knows. So she's been kind of fixing and changing my program to where it's not gonna hinder my capoeira as well, because she knows that it's important for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I think even for myself, who many people who know the size of my quads are sort of my selling point, and I love the gym. It was a tough pill to swallow, but a necessary one for me to slow down. And I only go twice a week instead of 3 days a week, and I've cut my overall volume down. So although it's not as glorious for me to like deadlift PRs at 400 something pounds, my body is grateful for that now that I'm training
Mhm.
capoeira more consistently. I always like to ask my clients this question because for me, the exercise I hate the most, even though I prescribe it because it is a great exercise, would be a Bulgarian split squat.
Yes.
Do you have one exercise that you absolutely like when your trainer asks you to do it, you're like, but why do I have to?
It's I would say that kind of tops the list. Um, those are just brutal. They're not fun at all. They're the ones that if I see it on the program, I might skip it just because I hate it so much or like slack off on it. But um I would say that, and more recently single leg hip thrusters, those hurt so bad. So I would say all the single leg stuff really sucks.
Yes, but as the physical therapist here on this call, I think it's important to work our asymmetry. So I encourage all of you out there to do single leg exercises. So although these relatively quote unquote suck because they're difficult or put a lot of strain on, I think they're important. But as far as us capoeiristas go, like we're essentially lunging and squatting all the time. So to add
Mhm.
extra lunges and split squats, I actually don't even train them outside of capoeira because I think if I did lunges 5 days a week, my quads would really hate me. On top of the fact that I cycle in most places here in New York and I live in a walk-up building, I would be walking around with anterior knee pain all the time. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's cool. That's cool. And you said you're from San Diego.
So I was born in Orange County, and we
Uh,
moved to San Diego when I was 4, and I lived in San Diego till I was about 25, 26. So I
all
grew
right.
up there. It's my home.
Okay, so for everyone out there, where's the best place to get carne asada fries?
Oh man. Um, there's okay, so I go for different things. Like tacos El Gordo, I go for tacos, and I actually like their adobada tacos a lot more than the carne asada.
Okay.
Adobada is like al pastor, it's like the pork one. Um, but for like burritos and fries and nachos and stuff, I go to Salulitas, is in Mira Mesa. I think they're newer, but they have like this orange sauce that's like super bomb. Like you could drink it because it's that good. So I like it there. But we go to Lolita's too for fries because they do like the skinny fries with carne
Yep.
asada.
Fun fact, I did my internship in Mira Mesa in 2015. So when you said that place with the orange sauce, I'm like, I don't think that was there. But
Yeah.
I've been to Lolita's before, and that's really something. My spot though was I think it was literally called like Ocean Beach, and they had like Taco Tuesday. There was like one spot where it was like first come first serve tables, but like their fish tacos were fucking incredible.
Mm,
And I miss Taco Tuesday so much. I miss carne asada fries. I don't know why we don't have them in New York. Um, I think it
you
would
should
also,
bring them.
I don't know if they would last cross country. Oh, you mean me start an establishment here?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why people aren't doing that, but I have enough on my plate, all pun intended. Hopefully, but if I do end up making it big as an entrepreneur for as a PT, I think that will be on the table. Uh, but
Yeah.
so what else? I like to leave off every podcast with some sort of wisdom. And I'm sure you have tons of wisdom having been in your industry for 15 years. But if someone out there is fearful of starting a business or just taking any risk in life, what would you say to that person if they're unsure of how to go about anything? Like what would you tell them?
Um, I would say kind of map it out like what you need in order to start the business. Map out like how much income or how much product you would need to sell in order to at least make it by each month. And also, I've been reading or listening to a lot of like audiobooks. So one of the ones that I listened to today actually said about when you're starting a business, think about all the things that could go wrong in opening a business or starting your own business, and plan out how you can avoid all those things from happening. And I think that's really great advice, because that's what you're scared of most. And if you can tackle and face each of those things head on from the start, then you have nothing to fear when you finally open up.
Yeah, I think, and I never actually shared my story of how I started, but I've actually been a business owner for, it'll be 2 years next month. So go figure, I started a business right before the pandemic. But someone was literally like, because I was unsure, and he was like, "Dude, just file the paperwork and get your business going because the worst thing would be for you to start getting busy but not have a business to actually run because you're waiting for paperwork." And here in New York State, as a healthcare provider, it takes extra time to get approved by the Department of Education on top of the licensing authority for businesses. So it took me like 3 months to actually have all my paperwork. So imagine if I had like an influx of referrals, but I couldn't like run a business because I had nothing. I couldn't open like a business account.
Yeah.
That would have been terrible. So your business doesn't have to be making money for you to start a business. So if
Mhm.
you're interested in starting a business, just go for it, because the worst thing that could happen, and I do think they say like either 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10 entrepreneurs will fail within the first 3 years of their business. So the odds are definitely stacked against us.
Mhm.
Uh, you really just have to take a chance, because I believe that regret is one of the worst feelings in life. So at least if you tried and failed, it's a learning experience. Granted, I think as Sophia said, there's a lot of calculated risks that need to be accounted for. Like you don't want to take food out of anybody's mouth. Unless it's your own, then you can make your own decision on that. I think I have some flexibility there, where if I don't make money, I'll starve, but I'll eat dollar slices of pizza here in New York, because our dollar pizza is still better than most of the country. Cough, cough. So it's not a terrible life, um, but a possible stomach ache on a regular basis.
The other thing too is like you don't have to like quit your regular job to start a business, like you can, like I slowly went into it. I started out with full-time jobs, and then I went to part-time jobs while taking clients on the side and while in school, and then eventually I just went all on my own. But I was lucky. I had a lot of support from my family, so my rent was like dirt cheap. um, so I was able to slowly build it up. But one thing I do have to say is like I hadn't risen my prices in like 10 years. I had the same prices for all my clients for like 10 years. Um and I wasn't really getting new business or anything for a while. Like I had to go on Groupon just to try to lure people in. And it's funny how it goes, because the minute I decided I'm gonna raise my prices and I checked the prices of everyone around me, and I like now my prices match with the other businesses around me, and I'm getting like so many new clients. So that was something that I feared a lot as a business owner. Is like, if I raise my prices, am I going to lose my current, or are new people going to want to come in? But actually, like once you build your clientele and they trust you, they're going to stick with you. They know you're going to take care of them. They know you're not about like the money. Like my clients know I'm not all about the money. I'll turn business away if it's something that I don't agree with, or like they're asking for stuff that I don't do, because it's not good for their health of their lashes. So my clients know I'm not like money driven, and I think that helps as well, um, for them to stick with you, because they know like if they go to someone else, it could just be all about the money, even though it's cheaper, or they might not be consistent with their work like I am. So yeah, you can always go in slow, but don't be afraid of like raising your prices or doing things differently down the line, because like it can have really positive returns from that.
Yeah, definitely. I actually raised my prices this year as well, and I was joking with one of my clients, because her pushback was that my prices were, and she actually wrote this in a review, so I was poking fun at her about it. She said my prices were ridiculous, and it's like, and that's even taking into account like where my prices lie within the market, which is still relatively reasonable. Even though that's relative, what reasonable is, but it's still, I think, pretty fair. So, and she definitely got the results. She was certainly happy enough to leave a 5-star review. So I'm grateful for that. But to your point, in terms of like turning business away and being consistent and like being an active communicator, there's one quote. I don't know if you're familiar with this. To one of the OGs, Maya Angelou, R.I.P. People will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And I truly
Mhm.
believe, I think that's why we connect with our capoeira professor. I think that's why you have a sustainable business, as do I.
Yes, I agree.
So I always love going back to that one. Anyway, Sophia, do you have any last words for our listeners out there? If people want to connect with you, where can they find you?
Um, Easiest way is on Instagram. My Instagram is lashes by Sophia with a PH. You can also go to my website, lashesbysophia.com, if you want to learn a little bit more about eyelash extensions or permanent makeup, eyelash lifts. You can always, yeah, my number, all my information is on the website and on my Instagram. If you have questions or you need consultation, or I'll do, like, if you send me a profile of a lash artist because you're not sure if they're good, like I'll let you know if what they're doing is good, you know. So feel free to reach out to me about any of that, or if you need financial help.
Uh, you left off with financial help. I think most of I think any financial, I keep telling people, I think any financial advisor would look at my weekend spending and be like, what the hell are you doing, man? You don't need to go to the bar across the street. And it's like, yeah, well, you win some, you lose
Well,
some.
I honestly, I got into finances because as a business owner, we don't really get 401ks and retirement plans through work. So I didn't know what options I had available until I actually sat down with one, and then I was like, what? Like, I could have done this years ago. And so from that, like, I want to be able to help other people have that same relief and that same security for when they get older as well. So that's the only reason why I really got into it. It's like the side money is nice, but it's more so because I just want to educate people and let people know, because like America doesn't really teach you about that kind of stuff in school. Yeah.
Yeah, I've listened to a lot of entrepreneurs speak about money and the lessons that and how we're educated, and it's amazing how nothing about. I think I took a business class in high school, and I think that's why I had some reference on what's like financially like sound investing and what. And my parents, like shout out OG
Mhm.
parents out there and all the parents educating your kids. But I do think schools, if they were more responsible and had some control over curricula, that's for another podcast, because I think there are
Yes.
problems with many curricula across the country, possibly the world, but definitely in the United States. I think real life skills should be implemented into curricula.
Yes.
But it's nice that you're out there trying to get people to have better quality lives when they retire, because I think I had an episode with a woman who retired at age 36, and I think it's like it's amazing to be able to do what you want when you want, and we all work hard, and I think we all deserve that opportunity to make choices, because money doesn't buy everything, but you do have a lot of freedom to make decisions when you have it.
Yes. Definitely.
Especially for me to open up my carne asada fry shop here in
I'll be your first customer.
but seriously, if we get a petition going and you guys want it, I'll see what I can do, because I literally, no joke, I don't think they have a place here that does it. I've looked, and I mean, it's hard enough finding a Mexican place that's not $10 a taco that's good. But they do exist, but it's like our pizza's still good though. Our pizza's still
Yes. You know, I think carne asada fries originated in San Diego because when my brothers moved up to Orange County, we used to go to the Mexican shops out here and they're like carne asada fries, and they're like, what? What is that? So they were like, it's like carne asada nachos, but with fries. And none of the shops had it. So we would like just order like a burrito and then just buy fries from Jack in the Box and then just pour it on top. But then now, like, they're having more and more carne asada fries everywhere. But I really think like that's a San Diego thing.
yeah. I mean, you said Jack in the Box too, man. We don't have Jack in the Box out here.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, we don't have Jack in the Box. We don't have In-N-Out Burger. We don't have Del Taco. We we're slacking out here, but
But you got White Castle.
not in Manhattan. But we do have White Castle. Actually, fun fact: I'll be eating White Castle next Wednesday with my pops and my brother. Thanksgiving Eve tradition where pound,
Nice.
we actually all pound a crave case together. It's disgusting, but it's been a tradition for some time, and it's going to be happening.
That's awesome.
Anyways, Sophia, any parting words?
No, thank you for having me on the show. Such a pleasure talking to you and talking to everyone.
Yeah, well, the pleasure was all mine. And again, I want to thank Sophia for her time and her insight. And all you beautiful people, get out there and make shit happen.
Yeah.